How many Range Rover drivers in Singapore are going to use that off-road capability? Zero. When we first drove the new Range Rover, it was powered by a 4.4 litre V8. Old technology. The future is electrified, and so there is a 3 litre mild hybrid variant, and now this, a 3 litre plug-in hybrid, proper electrification for the future. Now, before we get to today's review, if you are thinking of trading in your car for something like this Range Rover, why not try selling with Quotz instead? Quotz helps you sell your car quickly and easily. With the new Quotz doorstep, get a professional inspection by our certified mechanics at your convenience anywhere on the island. Quotz will then auction out your car online to its wide network of dealers to bid on your car. Once bidding is complete, Quotz will update you with the best offer price at no obligation. It's that easy. To find out more, visit quotz.com.sg. That's quotz.com.sg. Now, back to the review. Yes, this is a plug-in hybrid Range Rover, but not like you could tell from the outside. So this car looks exactly like any other standard Range Rover, and I think that's more indicative of the fact that this new generation model has been designed to be very sleek, very modern, and has a bit of an electrified aesthetic to it, right? So it's very sleek, it's very imposing, it's very grand, and it's also very, very big. And if you want to check out a more in-depth look at this new generation Range Rover, you can click here in the link above. So the only external difference on this car is that. So that is a charging port, and as the name would suggest, this is a plug-in hybrid, meaning that you can plug this car into a charger. So one interesting thing about this car is the fact that this car supports DC fast charge, and that's not something you commonly see on many plug-in hybrids, and that gives you more options when it comes to charging the car. The Range Rover Plug-in Hybrid is priced at $785,999. The 3 litre hybrid powertrain produces 434 brake horsepower and 620 Nm of torque. The 8-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km/h in 6 seconds. The car has a claim fuel consumption of 58.8 km per litre. For more details on the Range Rover Plug-in Hybrid or any other car, head on to sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. Now at the back, we again have the new design language of the Range Rovers with the hidden taillight, so you can check out our previous review for a more in-depth look. And as far as boot space, we have 1050 litres with this split tailgate, and you know, it's plenty of space. You could fit multiple of these, easily passes the anti-Troy length test. And yes, it's one of those things where you can sit here and chill out with your friends. If you are very short, you can adjust this downwards as well. But yeah, not much to talk about over here. Let's go jump inside the car. Now here in the rear of the cabin, compared to the 4.4 V8 that we drove previously, we don't have all those fancy screens, fancy controls and captain seats and all that. But you know, that was a high-spec variant. This is your standard Range Rover interior, and it's very comfortable, it's very spacious, it's cavernous, right? This is a big car. I'm 1.7, and as you can see, I have plenty of space here. And we have very nice materials, plush materials everywhere, nice wood veneer here. We also have controls for things like your sunshade and stuff like that. So yes, plenty of modern amenities as well. We have dedicated aircon controls, and these seats are also ventilated and heated, but you know, more importantly, ventilated. And yeah, it's just a very, very comfortable space. Now, if I slide on over to the middle, the floor is not completely flat, but it is flat enough, and there is again plenty of space to tuck your feet in. You know, I have size 10 feet, and even then it fits, right? So this car will definitely fit 3 people, no problem at all. Now, in terms of other equipment, we also have ISOFIX points, obviously, and we have 2 USB-C points here, but a little bit hidden away, as well as a... forget what this thing is called. Yes. No, it's the...
socket.
Yeah, 12-volt. Cut that out, ignore. In terms of charging, we have 2 USB-C ports as well as a 12-volt socket. Yes, 12-volt socket. Now let's go jump into the front. Now here in the front, this is identical to every other Range Rover because fundamentally it's just a Range Rover. So we have head-up display, we have a digital dash, and we have the infotainment system as well. This runs PV Pro 2, and honestly it's one of my preferred systems. It's simple, it's clean, it's easy to navigate, and yeah, it's just easy to use, right? It's not overly complicated. So actually the only difference is this one screen that says EV. So this is where you can see your various charging modes. So you have safe, you have hybrid, and you have EV. So as the name would suggest, safe allows you to force the car to keep a certain level of charge. Hybrid lets the car toggle between electric and petrol, and then EV, you can force the car into purely EV mode depending on how much charge you have in the battery. So here you can see your battery, your energy, as well as your charging. What else? We have, ventilated seats, we have a wireless charging with USB-C port here, we have your chilled center compartment here. Everything you expect out of a luxurious Range Rover, and it is very, very luxurious, right? We have very nice materials everywhere, we have wood veneer here, we have plush materials, and it's just a lovely, lovely space. It's expensive, it should be expensive because it's an expensive car, but it feels every bit as expensive as you expect it to be. Now let's go drive this car on the road and see how this plug-in hybrid powertrain fares. Now, in terms of performance, we have a combined 434 brake horsepower and 620 Newton meters of torque, which means that this car can do 0 to 100 in 6 seconds flat. And that's honestly very quick considering this car is very, very heavy, right? This car is over 300 kg heavier than your standard Range Rover, and that's already a hefty car. So, on the road, when you put your foot down, it is honestly pretty quick. And that way, you don't feel it when you're accelerating, you're only really feeling it when you're braking. So when you get on the brakes, yes, the car is heavy, so you probably want to give yourself ample braking distance. Now, how does it feel to drive? It is, as you would expect, very, very comfortable. And I must say, I like this plug-in hybrid powertrain, so you have the option of hybrid drive, you can do full EV drive, and you also can do something called save, which means you can force the engine to charge the battery up to a certain point. And I like that. I think it adds to that overall refinement. If you drive in EV mode, it's honestly very refined, very quiet. There's still plenty of electric torque when you need it. And it just makes for a very serene drive. I think that really fits the character of this car. Now, I will have to say that the battery depletes pretty quickly, so the car is trying to use as much electric power as possible. So in terms of overall efficiency, are you going to do magical numbers with this plug-in hybrid? No, you're not, unless you really sort of have the habit of constantly charging the car as and when you can and try to drive in EV mode as much as possible. So, it's going to be a little bit more efficient compared to the 3-liter mild hybrid powertrain, but don't expect wonders. In terms of off-road capability, this Range Rover plug-in hybrid has all the capabilities you find in any other Range Rover. How many Range Rover drivers in Singapore are going to use that off-road capability? 0. Right? But it's one of those things where it's there, it's part of the package. So this new Range Rover plug-in hybrid, is it a will buy, won't buy, or go try? I think this is definitely a go try, and I would honestly consider it perhaps a will buy as well. So of course it's a very expensive car, right? So it's 785,999, and it's a Range Rover with all your ARS and everything. This is the kind of money you're looking at. But interestingly enough, this car is actually slightly cheaper than the equivalent 3-liter mild hybrid SE variant of the Range Rover, and you can probably chalk that up to the VS rebates. And that's interesting, right? Typically, we've seen that plug-in hybrids tend to always be quite a bit more expensive than your equivalent petrol variant. And so I think from a price perspective, this is at least a very reasonable alternative to your standard 3-liter mild hybrid. So I actually think it really comes down to how you can use this car, right? So the more that you can plug in, the more you can use that electric drivetrain, the more benefits you're going to get from a plug-in hybrid powertrain. That is true for any plug-in hybrid. And a car like this, I think, really makes sense in big European countries, right? Especially those that have something called low emission zones. So it's one of those things where it's, petrol power in the countryside, and then when you get into the city center, you can go all electric. And in such situations, a plug-in hybrid like this makes a lot of sense. Obviously, low emission zones don't exist in Singapore, at least not yet, so the so-called regulatory benefit of a car like this is perhaps not as evident, but it's still a very capable car, it's a very appealing car. It is a Range Rover through and through, and if you have the capability to use that plug-in hybrid powertrain to its maximum extent, then this is a car that's definitely worth checking out. Right, so that's the review of the new Range Rover plug-in hybrid. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and let us know what you think of this car in the comment section below. And of course, do remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel as well. And you can hit the notification button so you will be alerted of all our upcoming videos. And of course, you can also follow us on TikTok at Sgcarmart. So yes, that's all I have. I'll see you soon. Bye! In the comment section below, and again, 3 to 1. the name would suggest, this is a plug-in hybrid wait, let me adjust into consideration. What was I supposed to say?